Well, I was born and raised in West Yorkshire in the United Kingdom, where we have a very selfless attitude towards doing things. It's not a place where people will feel sorry for you. If you fall off your bike, you're simply told to get back on it. If you cut your finger, you're just told to go and put a band-aid on it and get on with things. And so I've always had that get on with things attitude rather than running to people and looking for them to do something for me or give me some form of support that I didn't really feel that I needed. So I was always a person that felt that I could do anything by myself. It was only later on in life that I discovered that that was probably not the right way to be going about every single thing. So I had to sort of remove the Yorkshire boy from me and develop an attitude where I could let other people into my life and I could learn things from other people and I could develop some new skills and I could grow and develop as an individual. When I got into my working life, I usually found that I liked to find different ways of doing things. So if you had a process of doing something that had gone from, time and memoriam onwards, I used to think to myself, well, isn't there a better way of doing things? So I used to look for a better way of doing things and quite often an easier way of doing things. And I was kind of very successful at doing that. Then I sort of slipped into the education and training field with an ad that I saw from the very famous Monty Python comedian John Cleese. It simply said, "I need you." And so that's what got me started into education and training. I worked as a business development manager for a number of years. I moved into a sales manager role. Then I moved into a national sales and marketing role. Then I moved into general manager role. And since then, I've probably spent the last 25 plus years in the international education sector, working with international students and domestic students across higher education and across vocational education. I've had many memorable experiences, not only from teaching myself on how to do things, but I've also learned to work with others and adapt to other people and to work together in problem solving. But I suppose when you work in education and training, it's really all about teaching people to move to an increased level of self. As you watch them learn, you watch them grow, you watch them develop, and they develop a capacity that they never had before. So for me, it's really exciting to come across people that I've worked with over 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and to see how those people have now grown and developed as an individual. They've now got families, they've developed a career for themselves, and many of them are very successful. So each one of those moments is a memorable experience. It underpins the values that I have, and it's all about being a part of making somebody's life a better experience. Well, I suppose the answer to that question is best summed up by a Bob Dylan song. The times they are a-changing. And guess what? The times are changing. The way that we do things are changing. Information technology is changing. The processes that we have in place in the workplace are changing. The way that we deal with people, they're changing. In Australia, in fact, across the globe, we are now working with diverse groups of people. People who have different cultures, different religious beliefs, different ways of doing things. So to be an effective leader these days means that you have to constantly change. One of the things that we promote whenever we do a course is we make people realize that the average pension age now in Australia alone is about 67 years old. So how old are you now? How many years have you got to work So you have a choice. In that time, you can either get a job and come to that job every single day and do what you have to do, or you can change your mindset. You can say, I've got a career and I'm going to build on my career every single day. Continuous improvement, continuous development of yourself and of your skills is so important to stay ahead of the pack. It's to actually succeed. It's to be learning what's changing in the marketplace. Do we have a new way of doing marketing? Do we have a new way of a HR approach? You know, it used to be a personnel manager, now it's a HR manager. A lot of organizations now have downsized and don't even have a HR department anymore. So those people left have to take on the roles of HR. They have to do the recruiting, the onboarding, the performance management, all things that people didn't really have to do in the past. So as Bob Dylan said, the times are a-changing. And look, if you're not changing with the times, then you're going to be left behind. So it's about upskilling yourself, constantly upskilling yourself through reading development books, reading business books, coming along on courses like we deliver, so that you are up to date with all the latest stuff that you need to be on top of, which means that you're going to be successful. And that's the choice you have. You can either have a job or you can make a career for yourself. It's that simple.